Hello, my name is Tamara Lankowski, and I'm making a video of my experience as Abraham's experience was offering up Isaac to the Lord. This week was crazy for us, but a big test of faith. And one of the things that we need to remember is we only get refined in fire. Gold is only refined in fire. And God wants our faith pure as gold. And if everything is always great, we really don't know what our faith is. We don't know what would happen, if a tragedy happened. It's the way we respond to tragedies and situations that helps us realize what is truly in our hearts, because our hearts are desperately deceitful and desperately wicked, and we don't know them. And so I really believe the Lord uses trials in our life to reveal what truly is in our hearts, because many times we ourselves don't know what's in our hearts. So this week, I've been in the University of Michigan Ann Arbor Hospital, and I do have to say, this hospital was absolutely amazing. I'm going to make a separate video just to talk about the wonderful experience I had, as bad as my situation was. But I had Jacob was a miracle to begin with, my 8th son. It was my 10th pregnancy. And when I did get pregnant with him, I was told by 4 doctors to have an abortion, which of course my husband and I didn't do. We believe in, the natural form of family planning. And so if the Lord gives us a child, then that's His will. And so throughout my pregnancy, everything was fine up until the end. I had preeclampsia, and they had to take him out at 34 weeks, so he was already a preemie. Well, he was born October 12th. He stayed in the hospital until November 5th. We brought him home, and a couple weeks later, he got a virus similar to RSV. We're not sure if it was RSV or not, but it was a respiratory virus. So that was his first bout. And about a month after that, last week, all we did is go to Frankenmuth. Our wonderful neighbors gave us a gift card, and we went to Frankenmuth and used it. And the next morning, Jacob sounded a little bit congested, and he was fine, nothing to worry about. And even Saturday night, he was fine, not too much to worry about. But in the middle of the night, when I woke up, I was very concerned about the way he looked. And so I ended up putting chest rub on his chest, and I gave him breathing treatment, and I put humidifier in, and I did all those things, and he seemed to get worse, not better. So we took him to emergency in Ann Arbor, because it's more a reputable hospital. And we've been here since last Sunday. Today is Friday, and I don't know how much longer we're going to be here. And Jacob went from sick to sicker to sicker to sicker to, I thought he was dying. When we first brought him in, all he had was RSV. It turned into bronchiolitis. The bronchiolitis turned into atelectasis, which is like a slight collapse in the lung. He had it in the upper left lung. And the atelectasis ended up turning into pneumonia. So we had a preemie baby who was only 2.5 months old, but gestationally is only 1 month old, with his second bout of a respiratory virus. And on top of that had bronchiolitis, atelectasis, and pneumonia. And on top of all that, he was not responding to any treatments. By this time, he had had maybe 25 breathing treatments. He's had shots. He had even Rocephin, which is like a 10-day antibiotic shot, and absolutely nothing worked. Wednesday, I had been asking people to pray because I really believed I was losing my son, because I thought tomorrow it's going to be something else. Every day something else was added to his sickness. And I believe even the doctors and the nurses were concerned, because they all came in the room and then were outside of the room trying to dialogue to see if there was anything possible that they could do that they weren't doing to get him to respond to the treatments they were trying to give him. And Jacob just wasn't responding. Well, if you've seen my health video, I have a heart problem already, and I began to feel my heart problem returning. I started having that shortness of breath and things like that, and it was such a test, and all I could think about was Abraham offering up Isaac to the Lord. And I really believe the Lord was taking Jacob. And I told my husband, I said, honey, if the Lord does take him, at least we have a clear conscience, because we've done absolutely everything we're supposed to do. The doctors and nurses were so wonderful. They did everything they're supposed to do. And it's nobody's fault that Jacob is not responding to any treatments. Obviously, the Lord has a purpose and maybe wants him back. And I just kept thinking, Lord, the way this baby came into the world was so difficult. Did you bring him into this world just to take him? And then I thought, well, maybe he did. Maybe it's a test for me. You know, who am I to fight with God about which kids he keeps and which kids he chooses to take? And right then I surrendered and I prayed and I said, Lord, you've given me 8 children and I don't even deserve one. So they're all yours anyway, and it's up to you to decide which ones you want and which ones you want to keep. And I, with all my heart, that day gave him to the Lord. It was just so hard because I really thought he was dying, and the one thing I did pray for, I prayed for the Lord to do whatever he was going to do quickly, because I just didn't think I could handle much more. So I prayed, Lord, please, if you're going to take him quickly, and if you're going to let him live, then please heal him quickly, because I just don't know how much longer I can be here and do this. And Wednesday night there was about 7 churches praying for him, plus who knows how many other hundreds of people on my Facebook and friends telling friends. And Thursday afternoon, Jacob decided to just start responding to the treatments. Nobody had been doing anything differently. I don't even know how many breathing treatments he had in the past, and no change. That's all I got from everybody. And all of a sudden, everybody prayed on Wednesday and Thursday afternoon. They did a breathing treatment and actually saw a little bit of change. And that was when he began to turn the corner. Now, he's not completely well, but he has turned the corner. And what I learned in this experience was that God truly is more than enough. And as much as we love our children, or I love my husband, we really need to love God more. Just with all the health problems I've had, and I've almost died, I don't know how many times, but there was one time I really thought, this is it, I'm dead. And I just remember that moment thinking, my faith is about to be made sight, and all I thought of was the Lord. I didn't think of my husband. I didn't think of my children. I didn't think of anything. And this experience helped me to remember it was a test of faith. And when I did surrender him to the Lord, I really believe that God smiled and knew in my soul, I do want Jesus more than anything, even more than my children, who I love so much. But it's something we have to learn to truly love God with all our heart, all our soul, all our mind. And I do believe that each child of God does go through a test like Abraham did. And I believe as much as Abraham loved Isaac, he loved God more. And the test was he was willing to offer up Isaac. And I do believe because Abraham was willing to offer up Isaac, the Lord returned Isaac to him. because God doesn't want us loving anything or anyone, including our children, more than Him. So it was honestly a wonderful experience and refreshing to me that I feel like I passed the test. And I'm not trying to say that in a proud way or anything like that, because I've had tests that I've failed miserably. Even this week, there was another test that God was testing me and that I failed, and I'll talk about that later on. But um, it just was really encouraging to me what we've been through and how we responded to it. I thank God for His Word and for prayer. And most importantly, it was so nice to have other Christians come alongside us and really pray, interceding for us to just keep the faith and to respond the way we did. I don't think we could have responded the way we did had we not had other people interceding for us. And we had so many people helping us, bringing meals, watching the kids, and it was just such a wonderful experience, as tragic as it was. And I just wanted to share that. May it be an encouragement to you. God bless you.